Two, it is a Byzantine piece, and it is titled Hagia Sophia. That G is silent, although I've always pronounced it Hagia Sophia. The Hagia Sophia is what I think is more accurate. The red names here, Isidore of Miletus and Anthemius of Trailes, are the two architects, and they're mathematicians. They could be over here in the identifier piece, so be sure to put them in if you're a name person. And the patron of this, the person who had this made, was Justinian. Now, so this is the second church he's had made. San Vitale was the first church, the one with the mosaics with he and his wife is Theodora. So this is his second church, and there are 3 images associated with it. So let's take a peek here. It's made in Constantinople, right over here, and Constantinople is the capital of the Byzantine Empire. Remember, the Byzantine Empire is the remainder of the Roman Empire in the east. And this, hopefully you recognize this mosaic. It found in San Vitale. And the reason, just like every other emperor that preceded him, for this building is for Justinian to show his power. The function of it then is that it was showing the power of Justinian. The second function is that it was later conquered by Muslim Turks, and it became a mosque. And that's the yellow that I've circled, all those minarets. Those were added later on by the Ottoman Empire. And then up until from 1930 until 2020, so for 90 years, nearly a century, it was a museum. My parents visited the Hagia Sophia, and they did not take me with them, and I still don't forgive them for that. Okay, the form of this is that it has a central dome. Notice this massive domes. We've got half domes as well, but the massive central dome is what allows us to have what's called a central plan. So you can see this circle here in the nave, and that allows for not the focus, because the focus is still up here in the asp, but the church is designed around that big circle. We still have an aisle like we did in Santa Sabina and like we will in all of our cathedrals. And then the narthex, where the non-baptized can hang out and where people can be during getting ready for the procession can be. This dome rests not on a rotunda like the Pantheon, but now it's going to rest on something new called pendentives. We saw pendentives being painted in the catacombs of Priscilla, but now the pendentives here are on these massive, do you see these? These are piers. So they're not columns, they're piers. They're just huge in a building. And these triangle pendentives are what the dome sits on. And also in form, this church, the first time the dome was built, it fell. And so the second time the dome was built, they made it higher, and then they added these guys here. Do you see these massive? They're like, if something is tall and it tips over, don't you shove something on its side to kind of hold it up to steady it. And that's what these are. They're called buttresses. They buttress up something that's tall or something that's heavy and it's going to lean over. And so we're going to see really fancy buttresses on cathedrals in Europe, Western Europe, but here in Eastern Europe, in Constantinople, these are massive buttresses. So this dome, in more form, this is a lot of form, has 40 windows, and you can see like 4 of them here haven't been replaced lately. But when all of those windows are in place, it looks like the dome is floating in the air, and some describe it as suspending from a string. It's as if God is allowing that dome to hang out in the air. So it's got this heavenly feel to it. When Justinian made this church, there was little to no mosaics added. And then the Byzantine Empire went through a period that we call a period of iconoclasm, where they wanted to just destroy all images that were God, Virgin Mary, Jesus. And then after it was like 847, then images were allowed again. And so the mosaics that were made in this church are just fantastic. Now you can see here, there's a little bit of decomposition, like right up in here too. And these mosaics were covered over by the Ottomans when they conquered this church, and they were uncovered when the church became a museum. And here's just another mosaic so you can see just the brilliance of it. All right, in terms of content, here's one level and here's another level. It's thought where people can be. And it's thought that this higher level would be where the most wealthy, the higher in government bureaucrats and Justinian himself would appear, so that they don't have to be down there with the masses on the main floor during the service. And finally, you should know that in the Hagia Sophia, there is a cat, Gila, whose name means the union of love. And this is truly an image of her. She is standing in front of I just forgot the name of this. This is a structure where on Friday prayers, the leader of the prayers leads the prayers. And here's yet another image of Gila. And here's my cat, who laid in this drawer while I stood at this dresser over the summer making videos. So cat is important to Constantinople, and she's got her own Instagram if you want to see it.